Hi everyone, welcome back to a very special knitting podcast episode. And in this episode, I will only talk about my fall knitting plans because, yes, I have those. For those of you who are new here, my name is Maria. I am a Romanian knitter who lives and knit in Norway since May 2022. And this is my knitting podcast. This is the place I came and talk about everything I have on my needles. Today it is Monday. It is September 29th. And I'm not working today, so I thought it is a good moment to make this video since September is just today and tomorrow. Okay, so I took a lot of things in consideration when deciding what I should knit this fall. Of course, it is important what pattern speaks to me, what texture it's having, and this time the most important was the financial part of these projects. I am in a moment in my life that I cannot afford to buy yarns. So at the same time, I am lucky to have a couple of sweaters or cardigans quantity of yarn in my stash. I don't have that much, but I have enough to do my projects and to complete with something else from the yarn shop, but something that won't cost me too much. So yeah, I would say that choosing project was not difficult, but just to make the best decision. So I, at the end, I'm not spending that much money on yarn, money that I don't have. Okay, so let's start with the first one, and it's actually something that I am about to take a step forward. So these are my sleeves for the Comeback Igan cardigan by Andrea Mori or Drea Rene Knits. And this is a pattern for, let's say, a sport weight yarn. And it is a bottom-up construction. It is a raglan with a v-neck and a double knitted bottom band. Exactly what I like. And it has pockets, something that I'm willing to do. So this pattern comes in a lot of sizes. I am making size 2 in the pattern, and the size 2 is actually, bear with me just a little bit, it is the for a chest circumference of actually it's it's weird. It is for a chest circumference of 96.5 centimeters bust. I have 104 centimeters. However, I have been using this yarn before, and I saw the number of stitches that I need to cast on for the body, and I thought I can make this work for me. I didn't gauge swatch, So we shall see how this will work. Although I have time to think about it if I should cast on size 3 for the body. I shall see, but for the moment, I'm saying I will do size 2. Oh, sorry. So, as I've said, this is a bottom up construction, and you start with the sleeves, you start with a tubular um, cast on. I've done my method, not the pattern method. And then you work a number of centimeters for the cuff in 1 by 1 ribbing, and then you start in pattern, and you also need to increase. This is a textured pattern. It is a 4-row repeats, and you alternate knits and purls to get this texture. It's not difficult. However, it is a little bit tricky when you make the increases because you need to incorporate the new stitches in the textured pattern, and the written pattern came with a lot of links, video that the designer made on YouTube, and yeah, it's helpful. However, I only watched the video where you need to make these increases and to incorporate them in the pattern, and to be honest, I just I didn't understood her explanation. Maybe I was not in the mood. My brain was not just concentrating enough. And I thought I just make my own thing. So you increase 1 stitch after the beginning of row marker and before the beginning of row marker. And I decided that what I have after the beginning of row marker will count as the last stitch of the 4 stitches repeats in a row, and what I am increasing before the beginning of row marker, I will consider actually the first stitch from the 4 stitches repeats in the row, and it worked just perfectly fine. I also have 2 extra stitch markers, so I'm separating the new stitches until I manage to have 4 new stitches increased on each side of the beginning of row marker, and then I take this out, and when I begin to increase again, I will put them in place again for the new stitches. So this was something that helped me a lot. So far, I did not do any modification. I've made the length for the sleeve just like in the pattern because it's almost what I'm doing usually. I don't know exactly how wide this sleeve it is. I think it will be okay. Blocking will also help. My fabric so far maybe is not looking the greatest, just because the first 2 balls of yarn I've used, I actually unraveled from something I've started many months ago, and I didn't like it, and of course I didn't finish. So the yarn was a little bit, yeah, not even, but I am confident that washing the final garment will fix this problem. Now, in terms of yarn, I am using Norwegian wool. I am using Rauma Finul, and this is a sport weight yarn, and I had only and I have only 5 balls in total, and this is the color 4076. Is this, I would say, exactly the color of the what is that spice? Curry, I think you pronounce it. I think it's used in a lot of cuisines around the world, but in my mind now is the Indian cuisine. I think they are using a lot this curry. Um, and as I've said, this is a sport yarn weight, and it comes in 50 grams balls, and it has 175 meters. The recommended needles for the pattern are 3.75 millimeter, but I find I work a much nice fabric if I'm using 3.5 for this yarn. For some reason, I have a loose fabric with this yarn. Don't know why. Anyway, this is also blooming a little bit with washing. So it will be very nice to have this color. For example, I think it will work just perfect. Will combine with this dress I'm wearing today, which is a not perfect linen dress. It's not a new dress. I think I don't remember how long, but it's at least 1 year old, which is not that much, to be honest. Yes, the recommended yarn for this pattern, if you are interested, it is North Bay Fiber Heritage Sport 100% Targhee Polypay Wool Non-Superwash and Woolen Spoon. My God, this is a name. So this yarn has 50 grams and 225 yards or 205 meters. Obviously, I'm not using this. I have never used this yarn before. I don't know how it's looking, but I guess it's something that you find in USA, and it's not something I can afford. And lately, I thought so much about Reuma yarns and Hillesvåg yarns, of course, the Norwegian wool, both of them. And I've decided to incorporate more and more this yarn in my wardrobe because this is a yarn I can trust. This is a yarn that looks very good in the garments, in whatever you decide to make, if it is color work or if it is cables or even lace or stockinette. And it is this type of yarn that has a very long life, you know, and this is something I want for my garments. And of course, from time to time, I will try other yarns, but I don't know. At this point in my life, I'm just willing to use more and more Norwegian wool. Uh, I find it affordable comparing to other yarns, and especially ones that are more expensive, but they are not as good as these. And another advantage, it will be that I'm tolerating this yarn so good. I mean, I'm not tolerating. I don't feel that it is itchy, and I'm wearing a lot of them on bare skin. So I think this is a huge advantage for me. So far, so good with the pattern. It's actually the first time I am knitting a pattern from Andrea Murray, and so far everything is good. I like it. Actually, I am about to finish this second sleeve. I only have like probably 10 rows, and I can make the tubular cast on for the body. Um, I'm planning to make the pockets. This yarn, what I have so far, it won't be enough. I'm sure I will need at least one more ball of yarn, at least, if not two, but I will see. But this yarn is something that my local store is carrying, and I'm having always 15% off on every yarn purchase I make. So this is something also I took in consideration. Yes, and this is my first plan, knitting plan for this autumn, and maybe even the beginning of the winter, because I have 4 garments I want to make, and there is only 2 months left from autumn, and no matter how fast knitter I am, I don't see myself making these 4 garments plus making progress on the others that I still have on my needles. Okay, before I talk about my next project, I will say just a few words about the cardigan I am wearing today, which is my own pattern, which is not a pattern for sale. And I finished this in the summer, and I am so happy to wear this. I worn this already a lot, and this is a top down drop shoulder, just a classic construction, and it features this very simple cable panel separated by pearls and twisted stitches. I love it. And I've made this in Norwegian wool from Hillesvåg, and this yarn is called Ask, and it's also like a sport weight, but it's a little bit thicker. It's not quite a decay, but behaves like a decay, so it's very versatile, I find it. And I've already have another 2 projects that I'm working with this yarn. So just in case you are wondering what I am wearing, I love these metal buttons that I sewn on the cardigan. I'm very happy. It's fitting, so don't worry. I can very easily bottom up, bottom, yeah, close the cardigan, but I don't want to because it's not that cold in the house, and I don't feel the need to close this. So I think this is such a nice green, and I think it works so well with my dress and with this thing, this color. Uh, yes, let's get into the second project I will do for this fall, and I've already started, but I will show you. I'm not advanced. I just started the hem because it's another bottom-up construction. And I stopped because I want to finish this first and then to concentrate on that one because it's not that mindless. So let me just talk a little bit how I decided to make this cardigan. So, first of all, it is a cable cardigan. And initially, I was thinking about the patterns I already have in my library and I didn't knit so far. And as a cable cardigans, of course. And one of them was the book club cardigan by Sari Norland. But I didn't felt motivated to make that cardigan because I'm having as a work in progress the book club sweater, and I just couldn't start also the cardigan. Yeah, it didn't feel like a strong motivation to make that cardigan at this point. And then I thought about the Dagmar cardigan or jacket. And again, I've already made this year the Dagmar sweater. And although it's a very nice pattern and I enjoy so much making the sweater, I knew I don't want to make this year that cardigan. And then I searched and searched and searched. And I saw on Thea Coleman or Baby Cocktails website, I saw the pitted whiskey cardigan. I will put a picture here. It is a bottom-up construction. It features a lot of cable panels, but on the front it has a wide one that is a little bit geometric and it's very interesting, and it has pockets. And it's a round neck, which I like. I think I like more the round necks than the V-necks. And I thought I want to make this. It has honeycomb panels. It has a lot of things. There is a lot happening in this pattern. So that's why I've said that I want to finish this first before continuing with this one, because yeah, it requires a different type of knitting concentration, if I can say so. I have the yarn. My problem is that I'm not sure if I have enough yarn. So the pattern recommends the Plucky Knitter Yakiti Aran, which is 100% yak and 160 yards or 146 meters per 50 gram skein. And the needles are 5.5 millimeter. Obviously, I don't have this yarn, and I'm not buying this yarn, especially because I think it's local to USA and the shipping will be tremendous, which I cannot afford. But I got some yarn at the end of spring from a little knitting festival here around Bergen. I need to drink a little bit of water. And it's a hand-dyed wool and merino, which I don't use usually hand-dye yarn, but this was from a seller from Denmark. The company name is the Danish Dye Lot. I think I showed this before in the podcast. And it is this absolutely stunning chestnut color. So this is 70% Danish Gotland and 30% merino. However, as a meterage, this has 275 meters per 50 grams. So it has like 100 and a little bit more than the yarn recommended. But I'm working this yarn, sorry, I'm working this yarn with 4.5 millimeter needle, and it's working perfectly. This is a very hairy yarn, and it feels thicker. It doesn't feel like a DK or something in between Aran and DK. It feels a yarn that you can use 4.5, 5 millimeter needles. And I've said I will try my luck with this yarn. The problem is that I only have 4 skeins. I thought to send a message to the seller to ask what are the chances to get another skein in the same dye lot, which I think they are 0, but it's worth to try. However, it is possible to have enough because I will make it a little bit shorter, so a little bit cropped, and I will definitely make the sleeves shorter because the sleeves are very long. And if it's something similar to the previous pattern I've made from the same designer, I remember for that one I had to shorten the sleeves with 6 centimeters. Comparing to what the pattern was saying I should work. So I'm 50-50. I might have enough. I might not have enough. At the same time, what I will take in length from the sleeves and the body, I will use extra on the bottom bands and neckline because this one has the, I think, 1x1 ribbing neckline and bottom bands, and I'm planning to do double knitted on both, which requires of course a little bit more yarn. So I don't know, for the moment I will keep going with this, and I will cross the bridge once I will reach the bridge, isn't it? But so far I only have this much. It looks like a 2x2 ribbing hem, but it's actually part of 2x2 ribbing and segments of 1x1 ribbing in the same row, so it's a mix. I don't understand yet why, but it is. I will discover later. So I think this is another absolutely gorgeous color for this autumn. I mean, look at my colors, guys. I think these are my colors. I think these are my colors, definitely. I love them. So yes, I'm also, I guessed on for size 2 in the pattern. Again, not gauge swatching and not taking in consideration the gauge swatching, but taking in consideration the number of stitches. Is risky what I'm doing because I don't know this yarn. I don't know how it will behave. I didn't want to make a little sample to wash it because I already don't know if I have enough yarn, and I don't want to break the yarn in small quantities and then to attach it again. And also because I don't think it's relevant if I'm washing a small swatch, considering that I am washing the garments at a washing machine. So it's absolutely, the washing process, it's totally different. And I'm sure the swatch, it will behave in a way that the sweater won't once I will wash it at a washing machine. So yeah, maybe I am wrong. I'm not saying I'm I own the truth, but it's just what I have learned so far knitting a lot of garments. Of course, I might be wrong. So yeah, I will let you know once I make more progress. I'm finishing washing, and then I will come back, and um, I'm an honest person, and I'm not afraid to say, okay, this time I was totally wrong. It's something I need to assume, and that's it. Okay, so I talked to you about two cardigans. Now, my next two projects that I'm dreaming to knit this autumn and this winter. It is actually, there are two sweaters. I'm having mixed feelings with sweaters lately. I just don't feel nice wearing sweaters unless I have a sweater on top of a dress. And I think part of it has to do with how my body is shaped. Once I have my back is not straight, so that means every sweater I'm making is just showing this part of my body that it's not normal. And then I have a big bust, but I don't have big hips. So I'm quite straight, and I don't have that much to feel my jeans, let's say. I don't know how to explain this. So it's okay if I'm taking a picture, if from as you see me as a selfie, but if I'm turning on side, you could see my lack of shape where I need to have shape, and my extra shape where I don't need that much shape. I don't know if this makes sense. However, sweaters just creates me a lot of insecurities regarding my body. And one of the reasons I'm so happy that now I have the opportunity to wear more dresses is because my body looks better in a dress and a skirt than in trousers. However, I will make these two sweaters to wear them with my dresses, which means will be more cropped in order to feel good wearing them. Okay, let's see. The first sweater, I will put pictures on the screen. It is actually a sweater that was in my wish list or wishful knits for 2025. And it is from the designer Sarah Solomon. And I'm sorry if I will mispronounce this name. I think it's Timmy. I will put it on the screen. I think she made this pattern years ago for a yarn company. I don't know if Japanese or Korean or something. I'm not sure. This is a knit by piece that you make, and then you need to sew to sew the pieces together. And it's again a bottom up. I love the neckline on this one, and I'm not sure that this is the right neckline for my back, but I will do it anyway because I don't care. This time I don't care. I'm dreaming about this sweater. So it's all over cables. I find the cables very beautiful, very, I don't know, outstanding visually. I love the texture, and it features a 2x2 ribbing, which I think it goes very well with the cables on this sweater. And this is something I'm willing to start, but not now, or who knows. Maybe if I will lose my patience of waiting to finish other projects, maybe I will start. I have, I don't think it's this one. Yes, I have, I think, 6 balls of yarn. This is for a fingering weight yarn, this project. I think the recommended yarn is Nomadnus Dry Desert Camel Fingering, which is 100% camel wool, and it has two, yeah, 185, 218 yards, or 170 and 200 meters. I don't know why there are 2 meterage examples. 50 grams. I don't know. Maybe there are 2. Maybe the balls, they don't have the same meterage. I don't know. I am using Aroma Finul. I'm going with my safe yarn. And this is from a project that I've started a year ago, and I unraveled because my brain cannot make this for the moment. It was a beautiful cardigan. And my decision has nothing to do with the fact that I had it already for a year on my needles. My decision is just when I try to knit on the second sleeve, I realize I've made some mistakes, and I had to fix. If I wanted to fix those mistakes, I had to unravel like 3/4 from each sleeve, which, yeah, I thought, you know what, I will just unravel everything, and later I will come back to this pattern and I will make it again. So I have like 6 balls of this color 0411. Is this brownie beige? If I'm not mistaken, I've made the Dagmar sweater in exactly the same color. But for that one, I've used Aroma Fivel, which is more a worsted weight. This one is a sport weight. But it's okay. It will be 2 different patterns and thickness and construction, and they won't look the same. So that's that. Yes, I decided, not yet very sure, but I think I will make also the I think size 2 or size 3. I'm not sure. Size 2, it's for 107 centimeter bust circumference. I have 104. Or I could do a size bigger to have more positive ease, but a size bigger will give me 118 centimeters of circumference bust, which I just don't know. 14 centimeters of positive ease is quite a lot, but I don't know. I have time to decide, so I don't need to decide now. And about this pattern, so the sweater is worked flat in pieces from bottom up and seamed. The silhouette is a modified drop shoulder construction with a slight indentation at the body underarm and a wide shallow sleeve cap. After assembly, stitches are picked up at the neckline and worked in the round for the collar. So, yeah, I think I didn't sew the chart for this. Oh, it's not a big chart. That's good. It's just one chart, a small chart that you need to repeat. Oh, that is so great because I can memorize this, and at some point I don't need to see the chart. Yes, this is my third project. I hope I've said everything about it. My last project for this autumn, it is another sweater. I'm so excited about it. I don't know if I will have the patience to wait, but I can start this. I will start this in October because this is the only project I need to buy yarn for. Although I need to buy an extra ball here. I guess for the cable sweater I need one or two extra, but this is not expensive. But for this one I need the yarn. So I am so ready to make my first Argyle sweater. I'm so happy. So I searched a little bit of on internet, and there are several patterns. But I like the old school thing, and I stopped with Martin Story's Aberdeen Argyle sweater. On the screen, you will see what I'm talking about. So Martin Stories is, I think, one of, I don't know, yeah, one of the designers behind Rowan Yarns, or it's a designer that Rowan collaborates a lot. But this one, it can be purchased from his website because usually his patterns are in Rowan's magazine, which I cannot buy. But I was so happy that this could be purchased as an individual pattern. Now, there is one modification I will make. So if you can see in the picture, the sweater is featuring this color work hem and cuffs, which I'm not going to do. I'm planning to do this just as a one by one ribbing for the cuffs and hem. So I will take this part out, and I will probably choose to make the hem and the cuffs in the same color or same green as up here at the neckline. Now, the recommended yarn for this pattern, it is actually the, oh, I'm seeing the chart and it's not difficult at all. Anyway, okay. So let's see. Yarn. It's a Rowan fine tweed. And this is 100% wool, and it's 90 meters or 98 yards on 25 grams. Or Rowan felted tweed, and this is 175 meters or 191 yards per 50 grams. Now, in Bergen, there is a store. I think there are two, but one I know for sure that is selling Rowan felted tweed. I'm not going to use this yarn because this is expensive. So technically, I should do I'm thinking about size 2, and for the size 2 I should need one, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think 9 balls of yarn. And this yarn here in Norway, it's like at least 12 euros per ball. I think it's 100 and something Norwegian kroner. So this will cost me a little bit more than 100 euro, which I don't have to spend on this sweater. But I have, I think, an even best alternative. I'm sorry, Rowan, it's not nice for me to say this, but what can I do if I love so much the Norwegian wool? I will go with Rauma Finull. First of all, it has the same meterage as the Rowan felted tweed, although it does not have the same texture and heather color, and the tweed does not have this. It's just solid color. But most important, I think I can buy almost the same colors. So, because I am planning to eliminate this part of the hem and cuffs, I think I will take out actually at least 2 colors. So my sweater, it will have just 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. Yes. I am a little bit worried about this neckline. I don't know why I feel that even in the picture, like the front is rising, but again, I will cross the bridge once I will reach the bridge. Maybe I will do some short rows. I don't even know if this is bottom up or doesn't says. I think it's by pieces. I think it's by pieces. Shape, shape, shape. It doesn't says anything, or I'm not. I don't know, guys. I don't see. I need to read through the pattern, but it doesn't says. But you actually start with the back separately. You work the back, and then you are working. So you work the back, and then you work shape armholes, shape shoulders, and then you work the front, and then you shape the neck, and then shape the left shoulder, and then shape the right shoulder, and then sleeves, and then shape top. I don't know. I will, yeah, I will keep reading through the pattern. I'm not worried. If I need to knit by pieces, I will knit by pieces, even if it is color work. If it's not, I will follow the instruction, and I'm sure it will be fine. And if not, at least I will have some headaches about this. We shall see. I didn't have time to search on Ravelry projects, but I will take a look, and I shall see. I'm very enthusiastic with my knitting plans. Of course, I have other projects on my needles. I unravel others, and I need to go through them once again and truly decide if I want to continue to make something or not, which I think it's the best. I felt overwhelmed with so many projects on my needles that for some of them, I realized that they were not something I wanted right now. And I've said this before, I don't see the point to keep something as a work in progress when I can unravel and make something else, because there is always so many things we want to make, and I'm not an exception. Yes, so these are my plans. Um, I am very curious to know if you have plans for this autumn. Usually, I don't plan season knitting, but yeah, this time I wanted to know exactly what I want to make in the next period. So I am very curious if you are making plans, if you already um, cast on something to knit this autumn. I'm curious if you um, will use, I don't know, yarn from Stash, or you will buy yarn. I'm trying to be more careful with my purchase, because I have enough to work throughout the rest of the year, and yeah, I'm just don't want to spend more money on yarn when I have something to work with. And also, it's the end of September. I think my last yarn purchase was at the beginning of August, so I think I'm quite good. And yes, I'm curious to know what you are needing, what are your plans, or if you just don't plan and make whatever is inspiring you at the moment you want to cast on. That's very interesting. I hope you enjoyed this episode today, and thank you so much for staying with me. And I hope to see you on my next one. So happy knitting, and wishing you already a wonderful October. Bye bye.